Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great day today. Well, I hope it was better than mine. This was the first day of the week for me, um, and I'm still dealing with a little bit of lag from switching over from West Coast time to East Coast time. Um, now, I tried to get enough sleep last night. It just didn't work the way I wanted it to. I woke up this morning really feeling sluggish, and I did not trade like my normal self today, as you will see. When you look at this, you're going to say, what the hell happened to Ed? I've never seen him do anything like this. Or if you've been following me for a while, you'll say, it's been a long, long time since I've seen him do this. And it's all because of me just not being myself. I can't explain it any other way. I take responsibility for it because that was me. Nobody else was pulling my strings. All right, but we'll take a look at my day here in a minute. What I want to share with you today is this, and this is very, very important. The market does not know who is supposed to win. Okay, when you get in a trade, the market doesn't know whether you're going to win or whether the other guy's going to win. The market doesn't know what participants are going to come in at what time. Has no way of knowing that. So all we can do is just trade the market without reservation and stop worrying about whether we're going to win on this trade or whether we're going to lose on this trade. It doesn't matter. If we're not in the trade, if I set up triggers and it shows that we have an edge, if we're not trading it, then we have a problem. Because sitting back trying to figure out whether we're going to win or not on this trade, we can't do that. It's going to stop us and get into our heads all the time. So just know the market doesn't know who's supposed to win. So all we need to do is just trade the market without reservation. Put our trade in and go. So let's take a look at today. Now, very first thing that hits you, 20 tickets, $99 commission. And I told you, one of the cardinal sins in trading, in SureTrader, or any broker, unless you're paying pennies per trade, is to not overtrade. Really, the more you trade, the more you're exposing yourself to the market, the easier it is for you to lose money. That's the thing. So for me, and what I try to teach you guys, and remember, what I'm teaching you is how to grow your account. Okay, the worst mistake you can make is go as a brand new trader just starting out, trying to follow somebody that says they're a professional trader and they're making thousands of dollars a day, and you have your little account and you're trying to grow it. They're not in the account growth mode. Okay, that's not the mode they're in. So you trying to follow them, number one, is a recipe for disaster. So what I'm doing is for you guys that are growing your account, everybody with me is in that stage. There's 2 or 3 that's beyond that, and I work with them on a different basis. But until you get to that point, you have to be in the account growing mode. And there's some handcuffs that you're going to have to deal with. But dealing with these during this stage is going to be what's going to help you be a better trader moving on. So what I'm doing now, I wanted to clarify that, is this is basic account growing. What I'm doing in my other accounts is more subjective. And when you get to that point, I work with you on that. I share that with you. But if you can't prove to me that you can trade basic strategies and follow basic rules and be disciplined, I'm not going to waste my time or your time. So you got to know there's 2 different schools of thought here. One, growing a small account, in a way that you can actually make money and grow out of this into a regular account. And then once you get to your main account, that's another mindset. Then you're looking at becoming a professional trader, and that's a whole different ball game. So I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but the first trade I took today was BIDU. You can see 20 tickets. And now the reason why you see my arrow on the first 5-minute candle is because we flipped to a 3-minute candle. That was the first sign that I was losing my mind. I just flipped in the middle of a trade. Normally, if I'm going to go 3, I'm going to start with 3. If I'm going to go 5, I'm going to start with 5. I'm not going to flip in the middle of a trade. So that was the first sign that something was going wrong. I flipped to a 3-minute chart. We got in on a 3-minute. And you can see there's only a few cents difference between me getting in the 3-minute and waiting for the 5-minute. So I got in, and we came down, didn't quite get to my target first, pulled back up, and here we actually sold off enough, hit my target, and we bounced. I was looking for it to get down here to the red to green line, which is, out of this thing. It's like 117.50 is right where this was. But it didn't get there. We bounced here around 118, came up, ended up stopping me out at break even. Now, I had the idea of this being an all-day hold to the long side for me over the 200. This is what I was thinking pre-market back here. But you can see we never did. We made a lower high here. We came up, made another lower high. So there was that just negates any thought I had of going long at the open, for an all-day hold. This actually sold off. And this is why I say we're going to have plans to go both ways. We don't know where the market's going to take us. We can guess, or we can have a hypothesis based on what we're seeing. But until the market opens and tells us what it's going to do, we have no idea. And so I traded it to the short side, got stopped out. Now here, I said, okay, we're over it. We claimed the 200. We're over it. So I can get into the long side, and we can just work off my previous thesis here. So I got in, hit the first target, and then it's crapped out again. So at this point, I'm really frustrated with the market. Okay, there's no way I'm going to buy into all of this resistance. That would be the stupidest thing you could do. Unless you're just a big gambler, then yeah, you're going to, do that. I'm going to wait until we got clear blue sky so that I'm not going to run into a bunch of garbage. So because of this, it comes back, stops me out, and then sells back through all of this. And then we bounce back through all of this. But at this point, I'm just frustrated because two trades, 2 solid setups, and no follow through. I get to my first target, craps out. So I decided today that I'm going to move into my summertime, trading rules. Because we're basically, for the last 2 weeks, I've been saying it. This is what, the last week or next to the last week in May. I mean, we're feeling it. And so the adjustment I'm going to make is I'm going to take 2/3 of my position off at my first target and then leave 1/3 on. And, if that 1/3 stops me out, all well and good. I've locked in most of the profit. So, after what I've been seeing, and I thought about it this weekend, but I just made that decision, that executive decision to do that. So let me ask you a question. Would it be easier for you to learn and to really understand what's happening in this trade or what happened in this trade if you see it live as I'm doing it and me talking through it as I trade this, or watching a recap video after the fact. Think about it. What would be more effective to you in learning? I know for me, it's actually watching it happen and listening to the person trading answer questions as to why they made the decision that they made. And there was some price action that was going on that, I pointed some things out that we were looking at. I can't do that on a dead chart. And here, somebody recapping their trades after the fact can sit here and say, this is where I could get in, this is where I added, this is a big add point, I got out half here because I thought we were going to reverse here. There's no way in hell you're going to know that while the trade is happening. Okay, you have your plan, but you have to watch the price action, watch the trade as it's setting up, then you'll be able to do these things. Okay, so with that in mind, you guys, if you haven't done it before, you need to come join me on Thursday morning. I'm trying to show you guys exactly what type of education you need that's going to get you to the next level. Now, you got to be receptive to it. If you're not receptive to it, if you come in with a negative mindset, you're not going to receive a damn thing. But if you're receptive to it, then you're going to receive the message that I'm sharing with you. And I feel it is very, very important that you guys, while I'm teaching you, that you actually see me trading the setups. That I'm trading just like you. I'm trading in the same accounts as you. I'm trading in the same brokers as you. We're experiencing the same problems at the same time. So you can see exactly how a crazy ass immature grown man can still hold it together and make money. That's what this is all about. So come and join me. Thursday is free. I know all of these webinars saying they're going to teach you their strategies and everything. It turns out to be one big marketing thing. You're not getting that from me. I'm teaching you the strategies, but you're not going to watch them on a dead chart. You're going to watch me actually trade them, if it sets up. Hopefully we get setups. But it'll have to set up and you'll actually see me trade it. And you actually see me how I handle a trade that's not going my way. So come join me this Thursday, 8:30, right back here on my YouTube channel. All right, KSS can kiss my what. This sold off. We had a bounce here. This was the first 5-minute candle. We bounced. We were getting a rejection here, and I thought we were coming. My first target was a 5-minute opening range low. I felt we could either hit or bounce. Just didn't do anything. It didn't even come close. And I ended up getting frustrated. I was looking at the price action. This is a stop where I was telling you blow for blow, step for step, what I was seeing. And showing you what to look for. And you can see here, we made a lower high. Here, this thing opened. This thing was strong. You keep seeing buying volume coming in, people buying this up. You got to get out. If it's that strong, you got to get out. Now, I could have sat here and held on and let my stop hit. But in this market, it's just not worth it. You have to pick and choose your battles. And this is one that I knew I would lose. And sure enough, I would have definitely lost this. As you can see, it just grinded its way up. So we took a little loss on KSS. All right, so here's where I came unglued. All right, I'm jumping now. Number one, this stock never closed above the 200. Never did. So me jumping in this, as you can see, was premature. Even though we traded above this, I mean, I should have even waited for it to make a high here to get in. But I didn't. I was so ill about the last 3 trades I took. I was gonna make this work, and we had a big window up here to the pre-market highs. It wasn't anything we were gonna run into, and bam. So I should have been out this trade over here, but I held on to it thinking we were gonna push it. Went to lunch thinking that would make it work. It didn't. So I got out of it, and then what did I do? I revenge traded. I flipped it short. After I stopped out, I decided to flip it short. And then look at what happened. All through lunch, it just grinded up. Ended up with indigestion. And you can see I gave away $236.51 on trading and revenge trading. A bad trade. So this was a bad trade altogether. Okay. I didn't wait for the setup to mature. I anticipated. So I lost on this trade. And then this was a pure and simple revenge trade. Because I didn't even let this candle, if this candle had closed, the proper thing for me to do if I was going to revenge trade, wait for the next candle to open and trade below this candle. Had I done that, I never would have taken this trade. So had I followed the rules on this one, I never would have been in it. Had I followed the rules on this one and not revenge traded, never would have been in it. So this was really where, things just didn't fall in line for me. It was just a really bad, bad situation. So now I'm listening for breaking news. All right, we're gonna get a breaking news play. Well, this stock halts, and in my mind, I'm like, this is gonna sell off. The news is fake, or not the news is fake, but what was reported, the offer got rejected. So this thing has got to come back in. I'm thinking it's gonna come all the way back down from where it came from, way down in here. You can't even see it on the chart. But I figured if it at least came down to, 40 or something like that today, and then tomorrow I was going to look. I mean, I had this thing in my mind that I was going to trade this tomorrow too. That's just how crazy I was. So I get in and end up getting stopped out. Okay, so this time I'd make the same mistake. I am revenge trading because I'm mad, and I'm sitting in the car. I'm getting ready to get my son, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be watching my earning stocks, but I jump in this thing, and somehow, by some miracle, it worked. I got out here, and that my last target was gonna be VWAP around 44, and ended up nailing it there. So got away with one this time. This was definitely, if I was gonna get in this, it should have been on a break of this high after this candle closed. So this candle closed, and I could have got in on the break of this candle. But another bad entry here, but this one actually worked out in my favor. So ended up flipping that from a red trade to 96.25. So not bad. Not bad. But you guys see what happens when you don't follow your rules. Every now and then you're going to get one that works, but most of the time it's not going to work. When you don't follow your rules, it's just not going to work. So I was luckily to escape this one. And so now we're looking at earnings. And I told you guys there were two, JWN and URBN were the ones I was looking at on earnings. JWN had set up short. Everything pointed downward on it. And URBN was showing long. That was telling me, the numbers were on point. The guidance looked a lot better than JWN. So, that's why I told you guys that was the one. That was the one I picked. So, it worked. But what happened is we had a guy here right after the close. Somebody tried to tank this. Now, I also told you guys you got to be careful with these because this sector has shown a lot more manipulation than normal this earnings season. And so I said you got to be careful with this. But right off the bat, some is trying to sell this off. Now, what they try to do is get people who are anxious. You got people who went long on this because they know how to read an earnings report. They know how to, these are guys who have enough sense to get themselves in trouble sometimes. And so a lot of these people know that, and they'll use that against us. And so a lot of times all this guy has to do is start a selling frenzy, throw a bunch of his shares out there. He's willing to risk a couple $100,000 to make a couple million. Get this party going to the wrong side. Well, it didn't work. And so it did run up. And then eventually, this thing opened up here. It almost made it to 29 where my next target was. But then somebody came in and started selling it again. And then I had to take it off at break even. But 100% manipulation on this. Okay, 100%. Everything was good. And this is another example of just because the numbers are good, the guidance is good, it doesn't have to trade the way we want it to, the way we think it should. There are other people that have their own agenda, and it may not make any sense to us whatsoever. We may call them all the names in the book, which is what I did. But the fact is, we have to accept that. If we want to trade the market and, be successful in it, we have to accept things like this. And so, didn't really end up well. Only 149. Obviously we're looking for $300 to $500 on these earnings trades. Even more than that on some of them. This was only a $20 stock, so we weren't going to get but so much of a move. But after all of this, 72.39, we still ended up green. I'm happy about that. So, hooray for me. But this was a hell of a day, and I am not looking to repeat this tomorrow. If I do, I don't know what I'm going to do to myself. All right, so we got in one swing. This is straight from the watch list I emailed out Sunday. We didn't have our normal watch list session because of where I was, but I did email out a list, and there's going to be some positive additions to what we doing in the room. You guys are going to get more. I'll announce that Thursday. But one of it has to do with the swing trade watch list. So I'm going to talk more about that on Thursday. But I did send it out. This is a only oversold hook watch. This triggered at the open. I told you guys AOS triggered. So I got in it. My first target is up here around 47. But this is textbook oversold hook entry. So I'm looking for it tomorrow to, do a little bit more damage. It really depends. If I wake up tomorrow and the SPY's in the basement, then these swing trades probably aren't going to work. But we're going to be focusing more on swing trading this summer. During the summer, I make more money doing swing trades and all-day holds versus traditional day trading. Because if you don't nail the open, the first 30 minutes to an hour, if you don't make your money then, it's not going to happen. Very seldom are you going to be able to make a good lick after all of that's happened. So swing trading is a big supplement to day trading, especially in the slow months. You're going to go through slow times. But you guys that are wanting to learn, this is the best time to learn. The best time to learn how to day trade is in these summer months, because you're going to see some things and deal with some things that you're not going to get any other time. And that's going to accelerate your learning curve. All right, so I don't even know why I printed this. I didn't take any profit here. So, but still in VA with that last 50 shares, still waiting on 330s. It got down there last week, but it didn't stay. So I'm looking for it to get back. DIS, I'm still waiting, looking for it to get back up to 142 and making new highs. But still hanging on to that. This is going to be a longer term hold. I'm giving it a little bit more leeway. This is more of a subjective and fundamental setup. It's not one of the three elementary strategies that we teach in the swing trading class. This is one that once you have elevated from that, that I'll tell you or teach you. But that's that. So real quick, we'll take a look at my last week, where we ended up last week. Friday, I was so pissed. Oh man, I had a really good morning. I think I had about 300 in the bank, if not really close to it. And I systematically gave most of it back. Knowing that I should have stopped trading after 10:30. Knowing that I should have stopped. It's Friday, volume's low. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm trying to pack and make sure I have everything. Because we were flying out that evening. And again, I should, just like with the New York trip, I wasn't 100% focused after 10:30, and that's exactly what happened here. Ended up giving it back. Thankfully, I wasn't red. So any green after I make mistakes, just like today, is always welcome. So pretty decent week, 1339.03. This is not bad for summertime trading. $1,500, $1,500 to $1,800 a week is going to be on the high. Really what I want to get. I'll be happy with that. But 1339 is not bad for the slow months. So 28, 68, 88 for the month, and we're knocking on 20 grand's door. Remember, 25 is the next goal. I want 25 by the end of the second quarter. So we still have another month, but you got to remember, this is the summer month. So it's going to be very difficult to make 5 grand in the month of June. But it's still a goal. You know, it's still a goal. I'm not going to force any trades. That goal is really not in the back of my mind. The only time I think about it is when I'm looking at this and typing in the numbers. And so that's usually at the end of the day when I can't go back in the market and start acting stupid. So equity curve still going in the right direction. We haven't had any pullbacks or any negative weeks. Had 2 red weeks so far this year. Very, very good. I do expect 1 or 2 throughout the summer, maybe 3 or 4. We'll see. It was last year, I think I had about 3 or 4. But it's looking just like what we want it to look. 25 is the goal. For the end of this quarter. So, we'll see. We shall see. So you guys take care. Have a great night, a great evening. I know this was long. I tied a whole lot into it. I've been gone a long time, so give me my 30 minutes, please. And hopefully I made it worth your while. So don't forget, come join me on Thursday. If you're not a member, be right back here on my YouTube channel. No funnels. I don't take your email address and put it in a funnel and do all this marketing crap with it. All you got to do is you don't even have to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You just pop up here at 8:30 and you're there. So you don't have to worry about any of that with me. I'm all about teaching you how to trade. That's what the number one priority is. So you guys have a great night, great evening, and I will see you in the morning.